What if the nations of the Balkans came together to form a single, united army? An army that combined the heritage, strength, and resilience of a region shaped by countless struggles across the centuries. What if Greece, Bulgaria, Romania, Serbia, North Macedonia, Albania, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Croatia, and Montenegro combined their forces, putting aside old tensions for a common goal? For millennia, the Balkans have been a crossroads of empires, a land where Roman legions, Ottoman janissaries, Austro-Hungarian troops, and countless revolutionaries left their mark. Its nations have suffered and risen, fought bitterly, and learned to survive. Today, their militaries stand apart, shaped by different alliances and traditions. But what if, in an alternate reality, these nations acted as one? What would this united army look like? What role would it play in shaping the security of Europe? In deterring aggression? In defining the future of the Balkans? This is not just a thought experiment. It's a lens to understand the complexities, opportunities, and challenges of a region long defined by division. It's an exploration of heritage and strength, of tragedy and possibility. The Balkans have always been more than a geographic area. They are an intersection of civilizations. The Roman Empire shaped its cities and infrastructure, spreading its language and administration. The Byzantine Empire introduced its Orthodox heritage. The Ottomans ruled for centuries, reshaping borders, blending cultures, and creating tensions that linger to this day. In the 19th and 20th centuries, the Balkans became the powder keg of Europe. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo ignited World War I. The Second World War brought brutal partisan fighting, ethnic atrocities, and sweeping ideological battles between fascism and communism. Then came the Cold War. The Balkans were divided between the Eastern Bloc and the neutral path of Tito's Yugoslavia. The collapse of the Eastern Bloc and the bloody disintegration of Yugoslavia shaped the Balkans we recognize today, a patchwork of nations grappling with heritage, identity, and belonging. Today, many nations have found stability within NATO and the EU. Yet the tensions of the 1990s still cast long shadows, making the idea of a united Balkan army both captivating and controversial. Could such a coalition have rewritten the history of the region? If combined, the armed forces of the Balkans would be a formidable entity. Together, these nations field roughly 500,000 active troops, bolstered by hundreds of thousands of reserves. Their combined air forces operate a diverse range of fighter jets, MiG-29s, F-16s, Rafales, complemented by helicopters, reconnaissance planes, and sophisticated air defense platforms. The naval capabilities of this united army would dominate the Adriatic, Aegean, and Black Seas. Greece, Romania, and Bulgaria boast modern naval vessels and highly trained crews. The Croatian and Montenegrin navies could secure vital ports, ensuring access to international waters and energy shipping routes. Land forces would be equally impressive. Serbia and Romania have long military traditions with extensive armored units. Bulgaria operates a robust mechanized force. Greece maintains one of Europe's largest standing armies. Together, the Balkans would field a highly mobile and versatile ground force, well-suited for both defensive and expeditionary roles. But this potential comes with significant challenges. The nations of the Balkans have deep-rooted grievances, ethnic, religious, and political. Integrating such a diverse force would require overcoming mistrust, aligning doctrines, and standardizing equipment. The cost of creating a joint command and training structure would be substantial. More than that, the Balkans must overcome a psychological challenge, to recognize themselves as a coalition rather than a patchwork of nations. To move from mutual suspicion to collective purpose. A united Balkan army would present both opportunities and obstacles. The benefits? A stronger, independent voice within NATO and the EU, capable of shaping policies and responding to crises. Greater economic and military stability across the Balkans, making the region a hub for trade and innovation. An army that can deter aggression from external powers. The coalition could also serve as a crisis response force, capable of mobilizing quickly to address natural disasters, regional conflicts, and humanitarian emergencies. Its combined resources would enable Balkan nations to share burdens, reduce military expenditures, and modernize equipment more efficiently. But the obstacles? They are profound. The wounds of the 1990s remain fresh. Ethnic tensions, contested borders, and competing national narratives would complicate every decision. Integrating diverse military traditions, from Romania's army to Serbia's armed forces and Bulgaria's mechanized units, would require profound trust and collaboration. A coalition would also have to grapple with external influences. The EU, NATO, and global powers have deep interests in the Balkans. Maintaining neutrality while aligning with larger alliances would test the coalition's cohesion. In short, the idea of a united Balkan army is as challenging as it is compelling. Yet its very existence would redefine the role of the Balkans in global politics. What if this united army had existed in the 1990s? Might the bloody collapse of Yugoslavia have been prevented or reshaped? Could a coalition have deterred external meddling, reduced ethnic tensions, and enforced peace? What about today? In an era defined by global tensions, a united Balkan army could serve as a regional balancer, a force for stability in an area long shaped by external interests. Its ability to operate across borders and coordinate complex military efforts would make it a key player within NATO, the EU, and beyond. It would complicate the strategies of global powers. Russia, wary of NATO expansion, would watch a Balkan coalition closely. The EU would gain a significant, consolidated force within its borders. The United States might seek closer ties, while China would attempt to deepen economic connections. Meanwhile, smaller nations within the coalition would gain a stronger voice on the international stage. In this what-if scenario, the Balkans shift from a periphery to a center, from a historical fault line between empires to an axis of stability and cooperation. What if the nations of the Balkans came together? What if the borders that divide became lines of collaboration? What if history had taken a different path? A united Balkan army would be more than a military coalition. It would be a statement that a region long defined by division can unite, evolve, and assert itself as a force for stability and progress. In a world shaped by rivalry and tension, the what-if of a united Balkans reminds us that borders can be bridges, differences can be strengths, and the lessons of the past can illuminate the path to a better future. What do you think? Could the Balkans unite? What role would this army play? Let us know in the comments.